Here's my lens with everything that you guys are both saying, because Trill's still, his head's still spinning, I can tell. Right? So here's where my
question right after you done, bro. Go ahead.
here's where my lens is, right? Gas is $6 a gallon in some places. Okay? Do you think it is reasonable to expect, not all women, but I guess most women, given that that's the agenda for traditional relationships, to give up their income to serve their man, where the average household can barely survive on a single income in today's environment, even before this crazy inflation? Okay. Do you think it's reasonable to expect that in this environment?
If you want to be in a traditional marriage, yes, that's what you're going to have to do. That's why I say this is not that value system. That type of relationship and marriage is not for the faint of heart. It's for those who truly, truly have a value for marriage and serving their husband. And serving their family. Women who are traditional, I mean, we make it work. I mean, my ex-husband didn't make six figures when we got married. When we got married, we was first working at Arby's fast food restaurant, making an hourly wage. Because of course we were in college. Like I was 19, 20, and he was like 18, 19. Yes, we got married very young. Shortly after we got married, I got pregnant. So then he decided to go off to the military. But even still, I mean, his income, I think, was at $40,000 when it was all said and done. And I found a way to make it work as a housewife. People have a hard time with these incomes because they're living or trying to live above their means. A woman who values marriage and serving her family, she's going to find a way to make it work. And as quiet as it's kept, a lot of there's more areas that you can live off and raise a family off of $65,000. Where I'm from in Ohio, $65,000 is going to put you in a nice 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-car garage house, and you both can have some nice little modest cars.
I get it.
It's when you're trying to keep with the Joneses that you run into this problem of, can we afford it?
I got you. See, you're coming from that lens. Trill, how do you feel about that?
I think I'm starting to wrap my head around what she's saying. Because she believes in the traditional relationships, she's essentially saying that if I'm working, that'll work to the detriment of the relationship. I think like a lot of people's mindset in the modern era is that we can do both. You know what I'm saying? Especially like, you know, men feel like we have to do both. There is no way around it. But a lot of women feel like I can go out there and get my degree and get my high paying job and still be the woman that I need to be for my man, you know, and I guess depending on what that man kind of demands. But if that man is a traditional man, then what LeTisha is saying is that it would be impossible for you to do that because you're going to have to do everything that you're doing outside in terms of getting your money and your degrees. And then I'm going to need you home to iron my shirts and cook my food and take care of my kids and all of that. And to be honest, it's not enough time in the day unless you have a clone or something like that. So it kind of depends on what your ideology is. So her ideology is that if I'm working, despite what everything costs, despite what the numbers are involved, me working means that I'm spending time or necessary time away from my relationship, and that'll cause it to fail. So do I want to work and risk that high percentage of it happening, or completely let that go and just invest in my relationship and increase the chances? So, I mean, I get it, even though I don't agree with that type of relationship, but you know, it's not for me to agree with if she believes in that.
Why do you not agree with that type of relationship for yourself?
Well, because I'm actually in a marriage in which we are doing both. But see again, I'm not a traditional, super traditional minded man, right? Because I can cook myself, I can wash clothes myself. So with me and my wife, it's more of a situation where like, okay, she works, I works, I make more money, I pay most of the bills, but it's like I help out here and there. Like I'm, you know, like in a lot of traditional situations, like the guy literally feels like all I gotta do is bring the check. And right. I'm coming home, sitting on the couch, and I'm just gonna kick it. Like everything else is your responsibility. I'll, you know, tap in here with my child here and there, but I'm not doing heavy lifting. I'm not washing dishes and dusting and vacuuming and none of that. You know what I'm saying? But me, I'm not really that traditional of a man. So I'm more of like, okay, let's sit down and work out what's most convenient between us with you working. Because I also believe that like a lot of the older women that were in traditional relationships at the end of their life, there was a lot of regret in their mindsets. I mean, I can speak, you know, to my grandmother specifically and great aunt specifically, you know, to where they were traditional. They were with their husband since 8th and 9th grade, 40, 50, 60 years of marriage. And, you know, you'll have conversations with them and I'll be like, hey, you know, was it ever anything that you wanted to pursue? And I'm like, yeah, it was a lot that I wanted to pursue. I wanted to do this. I was making straight A's. I could dance really well. I wanted to pursue that, but I sacrificed all of that for my family. And even though they have fulfillment in that, they still have deep, deep, deep regret about what they didn't get to accomplish that, and built up resentment because a lot of times those husbands was out in the streets living how they were supposed to be living, and those women had to deal with a lot. So they may have been married 50 years, but the last 35 of them, they didn't really like each other for real. They was in separate rooms and, you know, only speaking when it's family functions and holidays. You know what I'm saying? So I guess seeing that kind of changed my mindset in terms of traditional compared to modern marriages.
That's interesting. You know, it's funny you say that because, and which is part of the reason why I asked the question, can that type of lifestyle survive in today's environment? Because women have been given so many different opportunities to, I guess, excel, have options for themselves. And it's kind of crazy for me to think that the average woman right now is going to give up that because they've had a taste of what that freedom is, and it's fruitful for a lot of them, right? And also the environment is now set up with the expectation that a woman's also working. So I think the reason why it's harder to it's going to sound blasphemous. I'm probably going to get dragged online for saying this. I don't care. Okay. I think the reason the cost of living is higher is because women entered the workforce in droves. Because think about it. If you own a product, a service, or any type of land or anything like that, right? You're selling based on what the market can give you. Okay? And then you say women are in the workforce, the family income has almost doubled. If I'm selling a home and I see families coming to sell the home, to buy the home, I'm going to be like, my price just went up. I want as much as you can give me. And you can give me more by having two incomes in the household. So I think that increases the cost of living. I was looking yesterday. The average, do you know what the average home cost is in the United States?
It's egregious.
It's $400,000.
Yes.
Okay, $405,000 to be exact. Okay, and I did the math with, because that's why I was looking up the whole family, because I'm in the process of trying to buy another house right now. So I'm just trying to figure out like how these, like there's just interest rates. I'm just trying to figure out what's happening with the earth, right? So with the cost of living being so high, and we're accustomed to dual income household, what you're asking as a community, because I don't think you just want this for yourself. I think you want to promote this to the people you coach, the people you provide your matchmaking service to, correct? LeTisha? Right. So if you want that for the community, the environment may not support that. How do you feel about that?
The environment may not support what?
The environment meaning like the cost of living, the social expectations, as well as the financial expectations of having two people working and providing for each other, right? And a husband also being able to contribute in the household, given what now is expected from the woman, and so on and so forth. Like, how do you feel the community is going to respond or be able to support that type of lifestyle of being in a traditional relationship where the man is the sole provider and the woman is taking a step back to that degree?
I think I'm confused because I'm trying to figure out, what does the community have to do with two people choosing to have a relationship dynamic that she's choosing to stay at home. Like, it's not a requirement. This is a choice. So today, traditionalism is completely different. Women are choosing to come off the workforce and stay at home. And the husband is choosing to match with such women. So I'm trying to figure out why that would be an issue for the community.
I'm saying issue for the community, for instance, like, this is going to sound another extreme, right? Which you kind of already explained it. You're living a certain lifestyle right now. In that lifestyle, maybe not you, maybe another woman who's in your lifestyle, right? They have a certain job. They have certain friends. They live around certain family members in that community. They have certain bills that they incurred given the lifestyle that they have, right? Whatever the case may be, because you don't know when you're going to find your match. So you might have real estate. You might have all kinds of things, right? And now you are saying if you're with a man that makes $65,000 a year, you're going to give all that up. You're going to move to somewhere in Ohio, away from where you were before.
Wait, why did you say Ohio like that?
I said Ohio because I know you can buy a house there for 80 grand cash. Looked it up, inquiring about it. I'm just saying. All right. So if you're picking up and leaving and doing those things and you're making that change, and you're in an environment where homes are an average of $400,000, right? The community is putting a little bit more pressure in you, not just financially, but just also just other expectations. So my question to you is, like, what do you see is going to be the backlash of how your life is going to turn once you give up your business, give up your lifestyle? I know you don't care about the latest fashions, and then your kids are not going to necessarily have the most resources that they could have had. I know you're saying, like, the resources, the mothers, care and being there for them, which is also true, but those things are a factor, no?
Do you know what type of lifestyle you can get off of $65,000?
I know. In Ohio, you can get a lot.
So you get a lot. So my kids are going to be, I'm too old to be having kids at this point. But if I was younger and I was having children, my kids would be okay. My kids would be, I think it's just economically feasible for people to get out of the major metropolitan cities anyway. You'd have a better life when you do. You have a better quality of life as far as building family and true community. Because in major metropolitan cities, let's face it, how much of a community are y'all really building? If people are just building community off of having stuff, that's not really a community that I really want to be a part of, nor I should be concerned with, because the community that I want to build is going to be built off of family values.
Okay.
Meaning I know my neighbors know me, and my neighbors know my children, and they're all going to school together, and they're going to grow up, and their sons are going to marry my daughters, and my daughters are going to marry their sons, and we're at barbecues, and we're doing PTA meetings together. And, that's the community that I want to build. Like in Ohio, 4-bedroom house. In Ohio, 4-bedroom house, 2-bathroom, 2-car garage. Okay, may not be driving a Benz or a Lexus, but hey, a Ford Focus will do just fine.
So
I'll even take a Ford Escape hybrid.
So let's stay there, right?